man who saves humanity. It's you. And I think that's the kind of what you're talking about there. And I think that is, there's so much buzz about that. It's not accurate because Terminator is a very empowering franchise for women. Like Sarah Connor is one of the most strongest female protagonists in the history of movies. So, like, I don't know why they feel the need to do that, right?
Right.
So there was a lot of, there are gender politics at play here, I'm sure, in that decision making. I mean, that's my
and
only...
had they come in and just been like from the beginning, we're here to save you because you're the new leader who's going to go up against Legion, I'd be like, okay, good, I'm fine with that.
Well, they have Grace say, oh, well, you in the future told me not to tell you because she didn't think you could handle it. It's like, okay, great. Like, they sit there and have all these conversations, like, you know, because that's a good 3/4 of the way through the movie, I think, when they have that reveal about it's really Danny and not her child. But
I don't know.
Sarah Connor would not be dismissive like that. Like, they don't care about you; they just care about your womb. I'm like, no, okay, you are her. You would not feel that way about this person.
No.
So I
agree.
I don't understand.
I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't understand either. Like, they're I'm sure they're making some kind of political points with this, I guess, but I'm not on that wavelength, so I'm not sure. They clearly didn't achieve it, but that's what they were going for, and that's why we had Grace be the protector.
Which I had a problem with Grace. Okay, so my problem again with Grace is why would they make the choice to have a female savior this time, which is fine. I don't have a problem with. And then give her such a handicap.
I thought the same thing because it's like you're trying to show us that, you know, strong female characters, they can do anything men can do. Great,
which is fine.
Great.
I'm okay with that.
But then you know what Kyle Reese didn't have to do in Terminator 1? Go hold up a pharmacy and get constant injections of drugs just to survive. Like, I don't
understand that.
It's completely illogical to have. You know, I'm talking just in the story now, all right?
Yeah.
You're going to augment a human being in the future, the post-apocalyptic future, where medicine is in short supply, and the only way they can survive is to get tons of medicine, and then we're going to send them back in time with no resources at all and expect them to be able to survive somehow. It's just a poor design. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Just make her a strong woman.
Well, no, but they wanted to have these intense, extreme fights with the Terminator, but then also give Grace like some kind of kryptonite or some kind of weakness, you know? Because
why couldn't she have just been like John in the last movie?
Yeah, sure. You know, I mean, I agree, but then she would have been more unstoppable because the thing is they have to work in Arnold. Right, they couldn't even open the door at the end, right? Arnold had to come open the door for him to get into Hoover Dam at the end because Grace was spent and Danny couldn't do it and Sarah had a dislocated shoulder and Arnold was the one left that could do it. So you kind of undercut that message. I mean, that's what you're getting at. The strong female empowerment message completely undercut by a lot of their story choices. And I agree with you. And it just you think on paper they would see that, right?
Right. Like let's look at Ripley. Like, Ripley was, like, a lot like Sarah in the first movie, right? In Alien, Ripley's a lot like Sarah Connor in Terminator, I think. By the end, she overcomes her fear and saves the day. And then in Aliens and in Terminator 2, they're these strong women that are just out to kick ass, right? That people don't want to listen to because their stories are insane, which is fine. Okay, their stories are insane. They just happen to be true because that's the movie universe that we're in, right? And then here we go. We got this. We've got an all-female, except for, like, Schwarzenegger's not the lead, like you said, and he doesn't come into the movie until almost halfway. We got an all-female lead in this movie, basically, which I'm fine with. And then there's some weird nonsense man womb story, and they got a weak hero because of some handicap that they wrote in, which I don't know. I was frustrated by those things a lot. I just wanted a hero.
Well, they wanted to give it a different spin because, again, they're telling the same story again.
Which is a problem.
That's the problem.
We got another story. Let's go back in time and save somebody. Which now I'm really tired.
So
of,
you're finally on my side on this, Brandon. Thank you.
Now I'm tired of it. But even the last movie wasn't like that. But yes, I don't know. I guess that's what Terminator is.
But it's not that. It's not. It can be other things.
It can be.
This is literally the same thing. Like, there is a Protector and a Terminator, but there's also other ones roaming around as well. So again, the rules are vague. So they wanted to change it. So what did they do? they took the TX, right, from Terminator 3. That's pretty much what that Rev 9 is, more like the TX than anything, I think, because it has the liquid and the endoskeleton. Although that was interesting, it could separate. What did you think of that?
I thought that was really awesome. I really liked that, and it was, again, this was original,
Right?
To have them be able to be more powerful together, but to be able to make this double-pronged attack was really fascinating. And I didn't catch that from the trailers, okay? So that was a real pleasant surprise for me. I saw the one in the past kind of split, but I just never clued in the trailer. So when it happened in the movie the first time, I'm like, oh, wow, that is neat.
Well, a couple things on that. One, I think Gabriel Luna did a real good job as the Rev 9. I think all the Terminator performances in all the movies have been great. Because he really felt like an intimidating threat, and he had more personality, which was interesting. I don't know if it's correct, but I thought it was interesting how he, could hey, my whole body's a weapon, stuff like that.
No, it's Legion; they're different.
Yeah, they're different. So. Fine. And then, but he was defeated in the same way the TX was, by the power source of Grace, right? Just shoves the power source in their mouth, blows them up, just like we saw in Terminator 3. So we have that difference going on, and then they take the Marcus character from Terminator Salvation, and that's pretty much what Grace is. I know she's a human, but she's a human Terminator hybrid, right? That's kind of what he was. So it's like they're so out of ideas, right? But interestingly enough, one of James Cameron's original ideas for Terminator was to have a liquid metal Terminator and the robotic Terminator, in the original, but he scrapped all that because of budget and all that stuff. So that kind of got brought to life here with this film, where the Rev 9 is both in one. So, that was interesting, I guess. And we got more of the iconic Terminator endoskeleton, which we, never really get to see much outside of future war sequences, outside of the end of the first film. Because obviously by the time we get to that point, the Terminator is pretty much dead. So to see it throughout a whole movie was interesting, I guess. But, yeah, I don't know, man. As a character, Grace was fine. But I conceptually is the problem, and that's I agree with you on all your points. I 100% agree with you. Let's talk about Arnold. Let's talk about Carl.
Yeah, first thing I want to mention, because it's so minor, and I don't know if you caught it, but I thought it was really cool, is that the dog was sitting in his lap and he was petting the dog. Did you catch that?
Yeah, that shows how far he's come.
Yeah,
to be a human, I guess.
So it was subtle. It wasn't in your face. I liked it. I thought that was really cool. Okay. I liked his character. I liked his growth. I liked that he's got a life for himself, because what does he do? I guess what would probably be in most science fiction stories is that he would have a self-destruct code programmed into him so that once he's completed his mission, he just kills himself or whatever. But he didn't have that. They didn't put that in him, so he had to live out his life. And I thought that was kind of cool. Okay? So here he is. He's dealing in drapes, right? Because what else is he going to do? I don't know. I guess he could have been in. Mechanics, or what was he in Genesis when he got laid off? Right.
Construction.
So, construction.
I was laid off.
I was laid off. And I liked that a lot. I liked that he was prepared. I thought he had some funny one-liners.
Also, I'm very funny.
Also, I'm extremely funny. So.
No, it was okay. It was bizarre, right? It was bizarre, but I enjoyed it. But I don't think it really tracks with, to your point, the remorse about John, all that kinds of stuff.
That doesn't make sense. But I still like the character. I like that he got involved, and so I'm okay with that. I don't like the one aspect of the text messages. This scene. And I like that scene there, though, when they're shooting that stuff. That's clearly Terminator's answer to Halloween 2018.
Oh, absolutely. I was thinking Halloween 2018 a lot watching this movie, right? Because you have
which is fine.
No, that's fine too. But you have the three female protagonists, the one anchor, the older woman from the original films is ignoring films in between. Michael Myers is kind of Terminator-esque. So yeah, no, absolutely. I was thinking Halloween 2018 here.
And that's fine. I like seeing my older heroes from my youth. Like Jamie Lee Curtis is a hero from my youth because I love the Halloween movies. Sarah Connor's a hero from my youth. I don't mind seeing them older. It doesn't bother me. This is great to see these people come back, and I love seeing them. So that was really cool. When he gives them a hug and takes them off, and he tells them those things. Like, it got me. When he says,
I won't
what
be
did
back?
you tell him? When he says, I won't be back, man, oh, man, did that get me.
I agree. That actually hit me in the feels. Like, I won't be back. Like, what a good subversion of the catchphrase,
Yes.
right? I enjoyed that. And I don't know the logistics of that relationship. Like he says, our relationship is not physical. But the fact that he had a caring family and, like, he says that gave him purpose. Like, it's a journey that I don't, like it's like a Commander Data Star Trek journey. I don't know if it's a journey that a assassin robot would go on, but sure.
I disagree.
Okay,
because of I totally buy it because of what we saw in Terminator 2, and with Sarah Connor's narration of how he's never going to get drunk and hit him, like, and how he's going to be a good father figure to him. He could be this. All of that Sarah Connor's narration when they're trying to fix that truck in Mexico. I'm like, I totally buy where this story went.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I see your point. Talking about the feels here, right? A couple of moments. A scene I really liked was Sarah, where she was just sitting in the woods there by herself, and then Danny comes up to her and she says, I never took a photo with John. I thought if they didn't know what he looked like, they couldn't find him. And she's like, sometimes I start to forget what he looks like. I'm like, man, that is, see, that's the kind of stuff that if you are going to kill John Connor, you need to delve into that. And I'm glad we got that moment with Sarah, because that was legit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so there is some really great stuff in this movie. I don't know why I had so many problems with it. Like, I guess it's just boils down to writing. But again, like I said at the beginning, I just don't hate this movie. It's good.
I'm not going to say it's good. I'm not going to say it's good, but I don't hate it. I definitely think it's better than Genesis, right? We'll get our ratings here as we wrap up in a minute. But again, I feel like they just go back to the same tropes of like, here's a car chase, and here's the plane chase, and here's the helicopter chase. Like when the Rev 9 is chasing at the beginning of the movie at the big truck, I'm like, well, this is T2. Right, this is
T3, T2,
T2 and T3. Well, there's a problem. Right? It's multiple movies.
Yep.
When the Rev 9 has the helicopter, like, we've seen that in Genesis, we've
T2.
seen that in T2. The end of the movie is how do you defeat the Rev 9? We take out a power source and we shove it down his throat. Like, that is exactly what we did in Terminator 3. And look, I've got to say, Danny, in the future, I did not buy she was the leader of the human resistance, because she is like 5 feet tall. And I found it comical she was the leader. I'm just going to say I thought the visuals there were odd. Like, before I knew she was like a 31-year-old actress, I would say, oh, okay, we'll just cast an older actress to be her in the future. She's grown up, because right now she's like, 15 or 16 or something. Not the case. She's 31, so I guess that was off the table. But I just found it just visually jarring to see like a 5-foot woman take on like these 3 people twice her size, and then she is the leader of the human resistance. Like, the visuals there did not jive for me.
I didn't have a problem with that. I didn't even consider that when I was watching with it, because I had seen her a few times already show that leadership ability in her character, right? She'd made some command decisions and said, no, I'm going to sacrifice, I'll be the bait, and like things like this. Like, she had talked about it a few times already. So I was already on board with her being the savior. I'm fine with it.
So did you like the look of the future in this movie then?
Sure. I mean, I don't know. It was fine. It was kind of like Salvation.
Well, it was like Salvation Light, and I thought James Cameron's finally back. Maybe we'll see the future from Terminator 1 and 2, but we never see it. I know it's Legion now, so it's different. But I don't know. Like, I don't know why it's so hard for them to just say, you know what, hey, look at these first 2 movies. Can you make it like that? Like, even Genesis, right, which everybody knows I was no fan of. Like, they replicated the Future War pretty well, and that opening sequence.
Was great.
Like, I'm like, why can't we just see that? That's what we want. So I don't know. Like, this movie it's kind of all over the place, but just on a fundamental story level. For a movie that says we're going to ignore all those other bad Terminator movies, this is the true Terminator 3. Like that's you got to stop doing that, because when you do it 3 times now, 4 times now, you lose. It's the boy who cried wolf at that point.
Yeah, and
also, what you did with the story destroyed the ending of Terminator 2. So think about that, right? I mean, I know that it's the true sequel because James Cameron's back. Like to me, this is not like I would much prefer Terminator 3 as Terminator 3